Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I want to take a little trip back to the next level homes that I talked about in my last video. This is, I believe, around a golf course, but these homes are like one of the tops in the Cincinnati area as far as a suburban type landscape. So we'll just check all these out, kind of go through here rather slowly. And I know some of you guys and girls like viewing some of the homes and stuff around the area. And there's some in here that are definitely upscale, let's say. So as I cruise the neighborhood here, I'm gonna see if I can rap a little bit about I don't know if, unless you live in a cave, you probably have heard about the Bud Light debacle. So if you haven't, and if you don't drink beer, I get it, but this Bud Light thing is everywhere. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, so you've probably come across a Bud Light commercial with a marketing campaign they did about this this person named Dylan Mulvaney. And this is a male, but he enjoys dressing and portraying a female, a young female. And I don't think he's transgender physically. I think he just likes to portray a female. And I think it's especially like a young, I don't know how young, but just a young personality girl. So anyway, Bud Light came out with this marketing video, and this Dylan Mulvaney was the spokesperson for it, and it caused quite the stir, let's just say. You got to remember, Bud Light has a lot of following with Americana and beer and country and manly men. And so Bud Light came out with this commercial with this Dylan character, and oh, it caused quite the wave, if you know what I mean. It's all over the place. You've probably heard it on, I don't know if mainstream news really talks about it too much, but I know if you watch YouTube a lot, it's all over there, TikTok and things. But so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Now, from what I gather, why did Bud Light do this? Because there's a lot of videos on YouTube right now that are saying Bud Light is done, Bud Light is finished. Bud Light, you know, just dug their own grave by having a person like Dylan Mulvaney do a commercial. And they're confused, they're hurt, they're bitter, and it's all because somebody that is a male dressed as a female, and that's just the lifestyle that they lead. So you got to remember, why did Bud Light do this? Well, if you're any type of business mind, you know that Bud Light needed a change. You know, the same old boring commercials with a man on a horse roping a cow. You know, it's just, something's got to be changed up. And because Bud Light had to do something a little radical, if you know what I mean. And so they hired this marketing person, and I don't know if that was just a person that was, I think it was planned to be a scapegoat for all this. Let's go this way. And this person hired this Dylan Mulvaney to do a little commercial about Bud Light. Like they sent Dylan some Bud Light beer cans, I guess, with his image on it and name, so he's talking about that a little bit. But anyway, it was really it was really interesting how the public kind of proceeded that, as far as what they the image that Bud Light holds as far as the beer, and again, like the manly men and stuff. Why did Bud Light do it? Well, like I said, they needed a change. They needed something. I mean, they have nothing to lose. Bud Light, I mean, it's anheuser-busch. Anheuser-Busch makes a lot of different Budweiser type beers. You know, regular Budweiser, Bud Light, Bud Ice, all kinds. I'm not sure. I think it's, I can't remember. I'm not really a huge beer drinker or anything, but I know they make several products. Now, why would they risk doing this with somebody like this Dylan character and take a chance on losing business? What do you think? Has anyone grasped the marketing behind this right now? Just from what you know by me telling you. So here's my thought, and again, this is just my opinion, but this is what I think. I think that they did this as a desperate attempt, and I don't even really call it a desperate attempt. I believe they did this to, of course, draw attention to the Bud Light brand. Get the eyes, get the ears, get the conversation starting about Bud Light. Every time you say the word Bud Light, or the two words Bud Light, that's a win for them. They don't care if you're upset about it, because look, here's what's going to happen, and you can see it happening already. A lot of places are in that mindset right now of, oh, that's cool, fountain, Jaguar. A lot of businesses are banning the sale of Bud Light, and if you watch YouTube, you know all the videos about Bud Light bankruptcy, and you know Anheuser-Busch is going to be going bankrupt soon. They're losing sales. Well, that may be true, okay? I don't deny that they're going to lose some sales over this, and they might lose quite a bit of sales in this quarter or even next quarter. I mean, hell, it might take 6 months to a year before they get back on track as far as the revenue. But here is what I think is going to happen. I think it is going to dramatically bring not only a lot of new business to them, because let's face it, the characters like Dylan Mulvaney and people of that nature, RuPaul's Drag Race and things like that, you gotta face it, times have changed, whether we like it or not. Times have changed. We are in a new culture. There is a big, gigantic push for the multi-gender and the transgender and all that stuff. There's a lot of support and a lot of backing behind that effort. And this Dylan character was just one more of a major corporation kind of jumping on that bandwagon, okay? And it's just the thing, it's the hot thing right now. So if you're a marketing person, you're gonna understand. I'm gonna go this way. If you're a marketing person, she was paid, and I forget her name, but she was paid to come in here, and Anheuser-Busch hired her to do a job, to stir it up, to stir up the marketing effort, okay? And so she probably was thinking, I got some ideas. How are we going to stir it up? How are we going to get people to talk about Bud Light? Well, in order to have people talk about something, you're going to have to dramatically do something very extreme, and especially that goes against the nature of the product. Okay, so this is the Heritage Club. Look how this is beautiful. Look at this. Let me just pull over here and check this out for a minute. Isn't that awesome? So this is the Heritage Club, they call it. There's a Heritage Club golf course back here. It's a country club, I believe. And these homes are the next level, and there's some bigger ones than this. I'll show you. But anyway, getting back to the topic of Bud Light. So the person was hired to do a job, and they did it. They got a spokesperson like Dylan to come in here and dress like a girl and talk like a girl, and boy, it did the job of what they were hired to do. Now here, everybody, now there's something on Facebook, not Facebook, but YouTube that I saw today, a video about this marketing person, whatever her name was on temporary, or not temporary, but leave of absence. You know, you got to read between the lines of business. So she's the scapegoat, right? If you're going to be on a leave of absence, you can't tell me the Bud Light Anheuser-Busch executive team and the bigwigs knew about this going down. They had to approve it. Come on, they had to approve it. So she's and kind of the hide behind the scapegoat of the bigwigs of Bud Light, whoever they are, Anheuser-Busch I should say, they're using this girl as the scapegoat, and she's got either fired or put on whatever you call it, extended leave or whatever, and that's that. But she did the job. You can't blame her. You can't blame her at all. And I know there's a lot of people that's upset with Anheuser-Busch right now. A lot of people. But guess what? That'll pass. I guarantee you that'll pass. It's going to be hard to swallow right now, and it is for a lot of people. But what that did was that got everybody talking about Bud Light, didn't it? Now every time you see a Bud Light beer can, you're going to think of that. And some people don't want to think of that. But honestly, I think it's brilliant. I think what Anheuser-Busch did is brilliant. And I might get a lot of hate over this comment, but I'm looking at it as a business strategy, nothing more. The culture in a company, let's face it, in order to keep up, you're going to have to make changes. Like I said, we're in a different culture right now in society, especially in America. And to gain new business, you're going to have to keep up with culture. And sadly, if you don't like it, there's nothing you can do about it. You could either move to a new country, or you could support a product that is more your flavor as far as their culture. No pun intended, right? But I just think it's brilliant. I think, and I looked at the stock of Anheuser-Busch. I've been watching their stock over the last month, and actually after this video was aired, this marketing campaign, and believe it or not, the stock is doing well. It's going up. Now, all these people that are saying Anheuser-Busch is on the verge of bankruptcy, that's just a bunch of lip flapping. There ain't no danger in this company right now. Look at that house. Sold. Yeah, we just bought this home. Psych. Be nice, right? No parking within 15 feet of mailbox. Strictly enforced. Guess they don't like missing their mail. And it's a bill. I wouldn't want it anyway. I like that. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Hey, I'd like to have a tour. I may stop somebody and say, hey, can I tour your home with my helmet on? That would be cool. This is one. I was, this is a true story. We were actually, I think it was this one. We were driving around this subdivision one night, and it had like a for sale sign in it or something. And I went up there in the driveway, and that horseshoe driveway, and as I get up to the driveway, I see somebody was moving inside the house, like past the window, like this, for sale. Now, if I went up in this driveway, which I could do, but I'm not going to, same scenario. I went up in the driveway and somebody like walked past the window. I'm like, oh crap. It could have been the real estate agent, who knows, but it just felt kind of awkward, you know. But they didn't really say anything. I mean, it's for sale. They're going to expect traffic, right? Yeah, this is the Heritage Hill, like I said, golf course. And I believe, let's go back here a little bit. Got the club, not the clubhouse, but the swimming pool back here. Oop, sand, don't run into, oh, there's a little kitty cat. I've actually, I think, we did, I don't know if we do anymore, but the company I work for, Heritage Hill was one of our clients. So I did some IT stuff for them. So I remember going into this clubhouse here, and they had some of our equipment in there, so I had to fiddle with their computers and stuff. Yeah. I don't know if they're still, it sounds familiar, but I don't recall if they're still one of our customers or not, to be honest with you. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So getting back to the Bud Light thing, personally, I think over the long run, it's gonna be a very good strategy for Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch. I think it's gonna bring a lot of, obviously, a lot of new faces. Anybody that's young and anybody that's kind of growing up right now in this culture in our society, guess what? They're gonna love that Bud Light commercial. And you got to look at business this way. How are you going to continue to grow as a business? What part of culture or what part of society are you going to market to? The people that are currently drinking Bud Light are eventually going to get older. They're going to stop drinking and they won't even be on this planet anymore. So with Bud Light's strategy, they're just doing something radical to get new eyes on the business. And it's a beer. A lot of young kids, I shouldn't say kids, but a lot of younger men and women really like the lighter beers like a Bud Light or Miller Lite or a lot of seltzer type stuff. And Bud Light knows that. I think a lot of young folks probably start with either Bud Light or, now me, growing up in the 80s, the first beer I ever had was Little Kings. You remember the Little Kings? Those were awesome. The lagers, oh my God, I couldn't drink one now, it'd kill me. But back in the day, my beer of choice, what a beautiful home. My beer of choice was Little Kings. I remember we used to get Little Kings. Somehow, I don't remember how, we would probably ask somebody to buy it for us from a gas station, you know, just hang out in a parking lot and wait for some guy to go in and say, hey man, hey, can you hook us up with some some beer? And believe it or not, back in the 80s, that wasn't a big deal then. You know, times have changed, just like me telling you about times and culture have changed. So we used to have somebody buy our beer for us, I guess, and we would go to town on it. And I would get the big 64-ounce Little Kings, really big. 64 ounces is that what, like a gallon? I don't know, half gallon is a lot of beer. Big 64-ounce jug, and we'd all get one of those, and we'd enjoy that the whole evening. But I can't elaborate too many details. That's nice. So, yeah, there you have it. That is my take on the Bud Light thing. And you don't have to like it. You don't have to buy another Bud Light as long as you live. And the company honestly doesn't care. They don't care, because you know what? They're going to gain new business. First in, first out. And you got to look at it. You got to look at economics. You got to look at, I mean, they were flat. I read that business has been flat for the Bud Light brand for a long time, years. So they had to do something to kind of jumpstart that effort again, right? And now, if they would have paid the marketing person to come in here and do another horse video with somebody, a wrangler or a macho man roping a calf or something, it wouldn't have made any impact. So you got to do something dramatic. That's just how it is. The more dramatic, the more you draw attention to your brand. And that's the way it is. And that goes back throughout history. A lot of things that people didn't like about brands. But look at the longevity of Anheuser-Busch. And you watch. Mark my words. Look at this stock. Watch this stock for the next year. And see where it is by this time next year. I'm going to. And, you know, and you're going to be thinking to yourself, well, maybe that guy was right. Man, that was brilliant by Bud Light's team to do that thing, right? Could be wrong. I could be right. I think this might be it. Pinehurst? I think this might be it. But this is the other side of the country club, or the golf course. So yeah, let me know what you think about the Bud Light thing. Were you I'm just curious what like my audience thinks about it. I mean, it's just my opinion. You don't have to like it. I don't have to like it. I don't really care. I mean, I get it. It's just it's business. It's nothing more than that. I think people get way too personal about attached to different things, like their brand, you know, whatever flavor beer they like, or whatever brand of clothing they like. They get really emotional if they don't like the marketing aspect behind it, you know. And just I could care less. I mean, it's a product. You don't like it, go buy something else. But so do you think, now that you heard my rant about it, do you think Anheuser-Busch purposely did that to cause such an outrage, or do you think they just didn't know it was going to cause such an outrage? You know, I don't know. Time will tell, apparently, but I think it was done very, very strategically, very purposely, for a specific reason. And my thoughts, like I said, are to draw new interest, new eyes, younger blood, as they say. And they can just tell the people that don't like it, tough luck, don't buy it anymore. We're going to have a whole new generation of people buying it. You'll be surprised. Watch more companies. Other companies will follow suit. I guarantee you they will. And it could be your favorite beer next. It could be Miller Lite. It could. You just never know. Yeah, this subdivision right here, about 20 minutes from where we live. Just crazy, crazy homes. These are over a million easy. That last video I did, I didn't realize how much they were. You know, during the video, I'm thinking, oh, that's got to be at least 400,000 or 500,000. Oh my God, it was like over a million. The one oh no, it was 800,000. But these, I know for a fact, these are over a million each. There's some big ones. I can't remember if this is the place. I know it's in this area somewhere. I just might be a road or two off, but they're all big through here. What can I say? But yeah, getting back to the marketing stuff, I mean, what makes you watch a video? What makes you interested in a commercial? To have a successful commercial or a video, it's got to be memorable. And all these not Bud Light, but all the beer commercials right now are just, they're all the same. And people get bored with just the lameness of the same. They want something new. You know, that's just how it is. But it's funny that I see, as soon as you know how it is on YouTube, as soon as you click on a video like that, then your feed, the algorithm, puts like a gazillion beer commercials in your feed now. So I've been seeing them for weeks because I clicked on a video that was talking about who that Dylan Mulvaney was, just because I didn't know who it was. It wasn't a very he wasn't a very like mainstream star or anything. He's a little well known, but not huge. But now he's well known, of course. So that really jump-started his thing, didn't it? My goodness. Can't blame him. So you probably won't do it. But if you do want to check out who Dylan Mulvaney is, all you got to do is search on YouTube Bud Light commercial. There you go. And you can get your feed filled with information. Okay, enough of that, right? Enough of that. Maybe this is it. The woods, maybe. No, I don't know. I can't remember. But this is another upscale subdivision. So what do you think? What do you think about the new culture coming? I mean, I guess as you get older, like my age, or you know, society has really changed. It's really becoming just something interesting, and that happens every decade. You got the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Every decade, something new new changes come out, new styles. I was an 80s product, so I have, you know, the big hair era. Heavy metal, not heavy metal, but the big hair bands they call it. That was the 80s. 70s, I think if I were to live and grow up through any decade, I think looks like a doctor or something, medical worker, had the scrubs on. But I think if I were to choose any decade to live through, if I had the choice, I would have loved to have grown up probably in the, I don't know, man, 60s probably, late 50s, throughout the 60s growing up, maybe even through the 50s. I think that would have been just an awesome time. Now, every decade they have problems. You know, just because it's the decade, though, as far as just how culture was, I think 50s and 60s would have been a fun time to live growing up. You just can't do anything nowadays. Everything's so uptight, and hell, you used to be able to ride in a pickup truck and drink beer with your friends, and the cops wouldn't even say anything about it. Now, if you find open container in a vehicle, you go to jail, which is ridiculous. Now, I'm not promoting drinking and driving. I'm just saying a lot of fun things have been taken away. And I think right now it's pretty hard for younger people, I can imagine, to really, they don't know how it was back then. I mean, even the 80s. I mean, I'm talking about before cell phones and all that crap, before social media. I think that was the demise of America, social media. It's horrible. Horrible stuff. And I'm in the game too. I mean, I have the YouTube channel, of course, but I'm not big on social media. I have a Facebook page, some of you might have seen. It's the fan page, I guess you could call it, for the same name as my YouTube channel, but I rarely go on Facebook, honestly. So if you ever ask me a question on my Facebook fan page, they call it, good luck. I might not see it for a week or two. I just don't live on Facebook like people do daily. I like watching YouTube videos. That's about it. And playing chess. I got a chess app I love to do. And I like reading. So those are about and riding the bike, making the videos for the channel. That's about what I do in my spare time. So what era did you grow up? Like a teenager and a young 20s and stuff? Like I said, mine was the 80s. I graduated in 1987 from high school, and it was just, even in that time, it was starting to get a little crazy out there. It was starting to get too controlling, society and stuff. And then cell phones started to happen, and I remember AOL dial-up. Remember AOL? America Online. You try to dial in for like 3 hours and you hear that handshaking from the fax, like, and you're like so happy that you finally got able to connect. That was America Online. Oh my God, those were the days. And it wasn't even anything special. I don't even remember what the heck I did on America Online. It was just like an online world, you know. That's when online started to become popular, was AOL. But now it's crazy. Every day, hundreds of new apps come out. So people, these kids, these younger people are living in their phones. Even adults live in their phones now. And I try to watch that. If I'm in my phone, it's either, like I said, it's probably answering a comment from the channel or playing chess. I get addicted to chess sometimes. I have like 15 games going at once. But I enjoy the competition and the strategy behind chess. I'm not great or anything. My rating is probably not even 800, I don't think. So it's not good, trust me. But you get better the more you play. I don't know strategy as far as like what takes you to that next level in chess. I've not, let me go this way. I've not really learned that yet. Well, you get the idea. This area is what I was mentioning last video. I said there's another area that's got even bigger homes than I was showing that other past video, and this is it. And I think I came across the ones I was wanting to show. I remember though there were some really big ones, and I can't recall if I just missed it or already went down those. I'm, you know, it's hard to say, but you get the idea. You get the idea. But I just wanted to say, anybody that has checked out my videos and subscribed, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, and stick around. But no, with that said, I appreciate you guys checking out the channel and all the comments and stuff. I think the biggest negative comment that I receive is about music for some reason. Music is a very sensitive thing, and people are, if they don't like the kind of music they're listening to, it really turns them off. So I got to be careful, and I will going forward. I got to, in some of my older videos that get the comments about the, you know, kill the music. Oh my God. So I get it, man. I get it. I mean, just like me, I will mute videos if I don't like the music. So be careful with music in your videos. I learned the hard way.